Okay, so before I get into the gear, I just want to say that you guys do not need this to get started on YouTube. A lot of people think you need really fancy professional equipment to get started, but you don't. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. So as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm not in the usual where I'm sitting in front of the computer in a closed room. I'm actually outside for once. So the reason why I'm outside is because one, it's a really nice day in Vancouver, and two, I wanted to show you our equipment because we always get a lot of questions on what kind of gear we use, what kind of cameras, do we have lights, what kind of mic do we use, and I want to share that all with you guys. So let's get into the video. Okay, so when we first started, we actually didn't have any equipment at all. The only thing that I had was my laptop that had a built-in webcam and Camtasia screencast, which was used to record screencast on your computer. So those are the only two things that I had, and that's how we actually got started on our YouTube channel. After that, we upgraded to a flip cam. So you remember those flip cams? It was before GoPro. It was basically like a cylinder type camera and it was supposed to, like, you could just fit it in your pocket. That was the whole ad campaign, so that's why I wanted it, because you could just put it in your pocket and like film stuff. And that was before camera phones and all that were big, so the flip cam was big at the time, and I used to film a lot on that. I didn't film any tutorials on that. I would just film fun vlog videos. Then after that, we upgraded to a no-name brand webcam. So this was a $15 HD webcam, and pretty much we used that webcam up until the beginning of 2016. So if you think about it, we actually used this $15 HD webcam for about 2 years before we got a really expensive one. Okay, so let's start off with lighting, and then we'll head over to microphone, and then end off with cameras. So you're wondering, what are these contraptions? Tongs? No, these aren't tongs. These are actually Ikea lights. So we have these Ikea lights because you're gonna see these other lights that we use. We actually have these up front. They usually go on the sides of us when we're on our computer filming. They go on the sides, one on either side. We actually have these because we get a little bit washed out in color when the other lights come, because those lights are going to be umbrella lights and they're really bright. So we actually have these on the sides to bring back a little bit of color because they are more yellow in lighting. Okay, so these Ikea lights were about $19.99 Canadian at Ikea, and what's cool is that you can plug them in to your laptop. So they're USB, and you can also plug them into a regular wall outlet, but I like it because I could just put it in my computer and then I've got the switch really quick and I can access it that way. So these are the Ikea lamp desk lights. I can't remember what the actual name is, but if you type in like triangle Ikea light, because the base is triangle, you'll find them. Okay, so the next thing are these two really big umbrella lights. And yes, they actually are umbrellas. So these lights are very, very, very bright, and they can get very hot. So be aware of that. We have two of them. You can get a three umbrella light setup, but we chose to just go with the two, and they work fine. We actually get quite washed out with them. So that's why we have those Ikea lamps that go in front that are more yellow to balance them out. Okay, so as you can see, the bulb is right here, and make sure that you don't touch this while you're filming and while they're on, because they are very, very hot and they are very bright. So you basically just attach the umbrella onto the actual structure of it, and you can really raise this up 15 feet or make it go lower. And basically these lights help when we are indoors. When we're outdoors, obviously we're not using any light right now. We're using the sunlight, actually sunset right now. So these umbrella lights, this set of two we got on eBay, and they were about $40 to $60. I can't remember exactly Canadian. So if you're in the US, it'll be a lot cheaper. Okay, so next is this blue Yeti microphone. So this thing looks like a trophy, but it's not. It's an amazing microphone. So if you can invest in a microphone, I would really suggest with the blue Yeti. It's got amazing reviews, and pretty much every vlogger and everyone who does podcasts has a blue Yeti microphone. So this retailed for about $120 Canadian on the Apple Store. And it's not necessary. I mean, if you already have a microphone on your camera, on your cell phone, on your laptop, just use that if you can't afford a Blue Yeti microphone. If you can, I would suggest to upgrade. Okay, so next is the Logitech C930E webcam. So we use this camera the most because when you see our tutorials, when we are sitting in front of the computer in a room, in a closed room, we are using this thing, the C930E HD webcam. It's an amazing webcam, and I personally think it's worth the $100 price tag for this. So it's about $120, $130 Canadian. So if you're serious about YouTube, if you're doing tutorials, I would highly suggest getting the Logitech C930E. It'll definitely be worth it. So next is the GoPro. Now this is the fun camera. This one gets to go in water and gets thrown and gets to go in the mud. This is the fun one of the cameras. So you know those Dream Driven episodes that you see on Fridays? Those are filmed with the GoPro. Now, this GoPro, when I bought it, it's the Hero 3 Plus. So I believe it was about $300 at the time. They've gone down now because now there's the Hero 4. But at the time when we bought this 2 years ago, maybe 3 actually, it was about $300. So if you don't need, you don't need a GoPro to do YouTube or anything like that. This was more of a luxury item. I wouldn't suggest getting this if you don't have the funds for it. This is more of just a fun camera. So this is the GoPro, and as you can see, it has the black matte case. We've personalized it, and it looks pretty sleek, hey? Alright, so that was the GoPro. Now let's head over to the very last and the most expensive camera that we use for our YouTube channel. Next is our most expensive camera, and this is the Nikon D50. So this is about a $1,000 to $1,200 camera. Now this was actually a gift from my sister. She gave this to me for my birthday. She actually asked me, do you want another GoPro or something else? So I was gonna get another GoPro because I wanted 2 different angles while we were doing adventures. But then I actually just sat back and thought about it and thought that we could use a DSLR if we really wanted to take our game to the next level on YouTube. So that's why I ended up choosing the Nikon D50. I basically went into a camera store and told the guy that I'm going to be doing YouTube videos. He asked me what kind, and he said that this camera was good for beginners, but it's a little bit more than just a beginner camera. So it's got some advanced features. It's not totally pro, but it's not totally basic. So it's kind of in the middle, and that's why he suggested this one. And honestly, I love it. It works great. I mean, in the beginning, when you go from using a webcam to a GoPro and then using this thing, there's definitely a lot to learn, but I'm loving it. Okay, so if you notice in the last clip there, the light just went out, so it's getting really dark now. It's sunset. I told you guys, basically this is the last camera. Only get this if you absolutely have the funds to get it. Don't try and stretch out for it. You don't need it to get started on YouTube. Like I said, we started off with nothing, with just our camera on the laptop. Then we went to the the no-name brand webcam, then the flip cam, which doesn't exist anymore, and then we went to a brand name HD webcam, and then we have a GoPro, and then we have this. But did we have this in the beginning to get started? No. So my advice to you guys is to use what you have. Get familiar with that, get the ball rolling with that, then when you have some extra funds, upgrade. We didn't upgrade everything at once, it was one by one, and we're still upgrading. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the little show and tell that I did with our gear, the little bit of a different scenery. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Back from the dead.